Number 35 is John Henry Eden from Fallout 3, the robot president who's there for like 2 scenes.
The one that you can literally just tell, like in a dialogue prompt with no skill check, just be like, "Hey, your plan isn't right."
Yep.
And have him go, "I'm gonna self-destruct."
I mean, he self-destructs,
now?
I think, no matter what you do, more or less.
Oh my god.
Even better.
More villainous than the Cyber Demon and Tom Nook and
Diablo!
And Diablo.
And Diablo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the CRUBCAST, your weekly dose of controlled chaos here in podcast form, where every single week it gets worse. My name's Kevin. I'm here with the 3 sexiest co-crubbers on the face of the earth. I'm here with Moriarty. Hi, M.
Hello.
I'm here with Trav. Hello, Trav.
Yo.
And I'm here with Sean. Hi, Sean.
Nice to meet you.
We are meeting for the very first time here on this episode of the podcast. Don't look that up. Today, speaking of meeting for the first time, we are going to meet an old IGN list of the top 100 video game villains ever. This is a thing that myself and Chris and Brody, who are not here today, started doing on a whim and then said we should save this for Crub because it is really fun to go and look at these dumb listicles and make fun of them. So we're going to do that. It's all in good fun. Nothing against the people that wrote these things because they were underpaid, almost certainly. But before that, I made a challenge to my 3 fellow co-crubbers. They are going to tell us their pitch for the top 5 game villains of all time. And we're going to see how that compares to the actual list at the end of the day. So I'm going to throw to Trav first. Trav, what's your elevator pitch for your top 5 video game villains?
Well, I kind of struggled with this a little bit because I kept coming up with Metal Gear Solid villains. And so I kind of just decided, you know what? I'm just going to keep the ones I think about. So I actually have 6, but I'm going to trim off one of them and let the audience guess which was the 6th one.
Okay.
So number 1, I got Liquid Snake.
Hot.
He's mean, he's British, and he like becomes an arm on another guy and just keeps doing evil stuff. Great guy.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much time I need to pad, so I'm just going to keep it going. Number 2, I wrote down Shodan because I've been on a huge System Shock binge, and she calls me an insect, and that does things for me. Incredible. Number 3, a little lesser known villain. I got Bob Page from Deus Ex. He's really cool because he goes, "Why contain it? It's cool." That's like his first line in the game. And then number 4, this one's a little bit different because this character came out post 2010, so we're not going to see this guy on this list. But I wrote Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising.
Good.
Very silly villain, but a really good villain. And then number 5 on here, I wrote down Ridley from Metroid because
Hot.
like they're very one-dimensional, not a lot of depth to this character, but they have a well-known presence.
While you have told us this list of villains, I have looked them up on this IGN list to see if they appeared. Ridley is not there. Shodan is 47, just above the Geth and Team Rocket. Liquid Snake is just behind them. Who else did you make? Bob Page is not there.
Yeah, not surprised.
What was the other one? Was there one more?
Then Senator Armstrong, but he's from a 2013 game.
So
here, you could put in my other pick, which was going to be The Boss.
The Boss. Let me look that up while Sean, you're going to go next. Tell us your winged list of top 5 video game villains.
In no order, Lavos from Chrono Trigger because it's just big giant bug destroy world, and I like that because it's inevitable and you got to try to fight it, destroy it. Cool, love that. Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. It's an evil clown that wants to destroy the world. They're just mean. I like that. I'm into it. Vibe with them. I'd probably have a beer with them. Die afterwards, but that's okay. Another one is... I hate that you took one from me, Trav.
You can still use it.
No.
I was going to give you like double bonus points if you use
No, double down. Double down.
No.
You guys get the double.
That's how good the villain is.
Double
jump.
No,
I was gonna say Liquid Snake, but I'm gonna say Liquid Ocelot now.
Okay.
So 1/28
less
of
British.
Liquid Snake. Gosh, how many is that? 3. I would say I'm gonna go Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2 I just
You've
like.
never played
Okay.
that game. How can you talk about the enemy in the game that you've never played?
I like that
Is
it's
it just aspirational?
I like that it's a villain who's just trying to feel something the entire time, because it's like you have memories
you
and feelings,
think
but you
you've
don't
been
feel
told.
it. I'm gonna scream into my mouth. Anyway, that's 4, and let's go with Madden.
Like John
John
like John Madden.
John Madden.
Okay.
John Madden.
Who was the first one
There you
you
go, there's
said?
my
I
phone.
was searching The Last of Travs, and I
Oh,
zoned out for a second. I'm sorry.
Lavos from Chrono Trigger.
Lavos. Okay.
Lavos.
You did
Him.
get Lavos in the top 75 in that it is 75th.
That's
Um,
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I believe you are on the board so far as having
This
one
is a
from the
game?
top 25. So
Ooh.
you are
This is
currently
a
winning.
game.
You only had that one, and I think the rest, Liquid Ocelot was not there. Revolver Ocelot is 28.
Yeah, okay.
That one's higher than... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. Before we go to M, I do want to say that if you wanted Liquid Ocelot and Snake there, hit the like button, leave us a review or a comment on your favorite podcast platform. They really do help support the podcast and the channel and help us get out to more people as we become the #1 weekly gaming podcast, not just in Norway, on Earth.
Be
Yeah.
cool. Please.
Speaking of Earth, M, your character, your avatar is a circle. So, the
Yeah,
Earth, the
I
Earth
mean,
is a
it's-
circle too, if you believe that.
It's not the
if you
whole
believe
avatar,
that. If you
right?
believe that. Okay.
It's not the whole avatar. It's just the face of the avatar. It has a... That's just the head. It's
Does
just
that
a round
mean
head.
if you believe that the Earth is a circle, like as in round, or do you like Earth is square? What? I don't know. Zemnis wasn't there, by the way.
Yeah,
Sean.
I think that M's icon being a circle is a little too political for what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. M's
I'm
icon
being
is flat.
canceled for being too political.
M's icon is flat. So what are your top 5 video game villains as you put them?
So I tried to go a little bit different.
Okay.
In that I tried to guess what the top 5 would be, right? So I knew this was an IGN list, and I went a little basic, but I tried to find. I was like, what could be the top 5 villains on this? And you've already told me one of them, so I know it's not.
So that was not
Gosh.
top 5. What Sean?
No,
got.
you've
Sean got-
already said one of them, and it wasn't.
Oh.
So my 5 was Mother Brain
Okay.
from Metroid, right? Because the Metroid icon feels iconic, right? Like it's the Space Invaders of the modern day. You know, I then said Team Rocket.
Oh,
who
then they're 50
apparently is-
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're 50
not in the
flat.
top 5.
Yeah. They're just above
Yeah.
Zeus.
But it felt like, Pokemon, right? That makes sense that
Yeah.
the Pokemon villain would be in the top, and apparently top 50. M. Bison
Okay.
from Street Fighter,
Okay.
right? Because, boy, M. Bison, Street Fighter, that's one of the games that...
Isn't that a
we
brand
ain't
you
ever-
recognize?
Right? Yeah.
Isn't that a villain you recognize from walking into the arcade? Because certainly everyone who's listed on that list reads that list. They're young arcade.
So,
The
my number
young
2
arcade.
was GLaDOS, because it was relevant at that time.
Yeah.
Right? And I still
That's a
think
good one.
GLaDOS is a great a villain. I think Shodan's such a cool villain, right? But Shodan isn't going to show up on an IGN list, but GLaDOS
Yeah.
might, because it hit like that level of virality and sort of, the cake is a
Oh,
lie
Portal
and all
2
that
would
kind
have
of
been
stuff.
like just about to come out at that time too.
Yeah.
So, right, hugely relevant culturally.
Yeah.
And then number 1, and I feel like this is one of those ones where it's like, yeah, that has to be up there, right? Is Bowser
Yeah. Big
from
lizard.
Super Mario, because boy, it's Bowser, right?
I thought I was
if it's not one of the most iconic villains, then this list is Bubkiss.
I thought we were like naming our top 5 instead of like doing our guesses.
Either was
the
fair.
top 5.
Either was
Yeah, either
fair.
one's fair.
M
okay. Dang.
played the game
Oh, well.
and did get the most on the board that are in the top 25. I think I forget which one you said was not there, but a few of them are, and I'm not going to say which ones get, obviously.
Okay.
But before we go to the top 25, I'm going to do some fun stuff and go through some random examples of this list and look at them. And there are blurbs for each of these that I can read out if we need explanation for some of them. And then I'll let you know.
Is there explanation for their thinking on why it's one of the top? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like it's a usual listicle, like 2 paragraphs of, we don't think about, like, for example, number 100 is Mario.
Okay, all right.
Because he's a villain in Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
So that means Donkey Kong's going to be in there somewhere.
So it's a relic from a time when Nintendo didn't have that face yet, when Mario wasn't a billion-dollar brand, and when Nintendo could take chances with its characters in a way they seem pathologically unable or unwilling to do today.
Boy, that sure does seem relevant today, doesn't it?
So that's number 100. I'm looking through the list just to name some fun ones. Number 98 is Gary Oak, who is not in a Pokemon game. He's not even... He's in like Puzzle League, but it's blue. It's not Gary.
Yeah, like not Gary.
Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's very IGN.
85 is Sub-Zero, who, note, is not a villain. Sub-Zero is the good one.
Isn't he a protagonist in his own game?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but nobody played that.
Like he's
that's kind of,
from my point of view, Jedi are evil.
It depends on which version of Sub-Zero we're talking about as to whether or not he's a villain. There is a villainous.
I can look.
Yeah, that's like it depends on which version. Because if it's the first version, he is a bad guy. He's like an assassin. Maybe it's the second one. One of them's a bad guy, right? Like one of them sure.
It's like a framed situation, I think, is what they went with later on.
Yeah. What is it? Bihan? I think Bihan is the bad one. I don't remember
That's the guy from MGS3 that shoots bees.
So they're calling the first. They're calling the first Sub-Zero here. That's what they're going with.
So, okay. So like the very first Sub-Zero was villainous. Was like supposed to be a villain,
and then his little brother took over as the early canon.
Yeah, or whoever. Yeah. There's stuff happening. I don't know my Mortal Kombat lore very well anymore. It's all complicated
a couple times.
Yeah. You know, is Scorpion a bad guy? Boy,
he's probably up there somewhere.
Depends.
Running through the list here, Carmen Sandiego is 62.
That's a
we need to know what number 69 is.
Well, you're gonna say tell me that Carmen Sandiego is above Lavos?
Yeah, and 69 is right above Gruntilda. She's 70. Also right above Tom Nook at 72, because that was
Tom Nook is a villain.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
69
sense.
is the Cyber Demon. So we got Trav.
Reppin'! Ah!
All right.
Looking through some other examples, 56.
Wait, hold on. The Cyber Demon is like
it's not even a villain. It's just an enemy.
Not only that, it's maybe one of the most iconic villains. That one's a weird one to have that low. And at all, right? Like it's both.
It was 2010. We thought old shooters were cringe.
If it makes you feel better, right above that, in number 74 is Diablo.
Just Diablo.
Just Diablo.
The game that created ARPGs. Diablo the enemy.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Are there going to be licensed video game characters? Like, for example, is there going to be like Darth Vader on this list?
You might find out.
I'm going to scream.
Number 51, and again, we're going to go through the top 25 in more detail in a moment, but I want to read the funny ones here, just to get us in the mood as a little bit of a
little
taster course. I had to look up 51 because it was Tank. It was the Left 4 Dead tank.
Wait, so hold on. The Cyber Demon is only a little bit more evil than Tom Nook. But Tom Nook is more evil than Diablo. I'm sorry, it took me a second.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna ratchet nerd out here for a second because they have Dr. Nefarious at 65, and then Quark is more villainous than him, even though Quark is just a bumbling idiot.
He gaslights.
Who's a semi-villain for 2 games, and then turns good.
Okay.
His arc is the arc of the first saga of games, and he turns good finally.
Okay, all right.
45 is the Flood.
But the Flood is a very iconic enemy, right? Maybe the coolest enemy in the entire series of Halo. But 45?
They're also not villains.
How did they rate that?
They don't.
Well, they are villainous,
like
right? It's a bad guy for sure. It's
like a Thanos did nothing wrong situation. Yeah.
Oh my god. They're gonna put
who else?
Wait, because that's interesting. Because one of the names that I was considering, one of the names that I was considering was 343 Guilty Spark. Just because I've been playing through Halo.
I don't believe Spark is up here. Let me look.
That would be Crazy
because
to
the
me.
prophet of truth is 60, so they hit on
Wait,
that
hold
one.
on. When did Halo 3 come out?
So there's multiple Halo enemies.
There are multiple Halo enemies. I started laughing there because I saw number 35 is John Henry Eden from Fallout 3, the robot president who's there for like 2 scenes.
The one that you can literally just tell, like in a dialogue prompt with no skill check, just be like, "Hey, your plan isn't right."
Yep,
and have him
Wow.
go, "I'm gonna self-destruct."
I mean, he self-destructs. I think no
Cool.
matter what you do, more or less.
Oh my god!
Even
He's
better.
More villainous than the Cyber Demon and Tom Nook and
Diablo!
and Diablo.
And Diablo. Right above our list starting, the Covenant are number 26. All of them.
All
Okay.
of them.
All.
So there
The
are
entire-
at least 3.
Okay.
The entire multi-species religion of the Covenant is
Yeah.
26.
That's got.
Oh my
clickers are
god! I
gonna be
love
on
how
here,
Halo
aren't they?
is just 3% already of the entire.
Guys, I
Already.
think I've got some problems with 2010 IGN.
So, do you? What a surprise!
Okay, so I'll let you guys each pick a number, and I'll read you that number.
Ooh. All right.
And then we'll get into the top 25 from there.
Okay, so a number above 25.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So Emma, you
I
go
would like
first.
to hear 37
37 is the Lich King.
They're gonna say Bob the
from
Builder.
WoW.
Yes.
Okay, well now I need to know what 73 is.
Well, so hold on. 38, I almost said was what I thought 37 was. Bob the Killer Goldfish from Earthworm Jim.
Okay. Okay.
No!
73
Okay.
is Alma.
Oh, from Fear.
I believe so. I don't have that page open. Bear with me while I pull that up because the Wayback
I mean,
Machine is
Alma-
slow.
Fear is the
Bear.
only game I can think of that. That is a creepy enemy. To be fair, it's
Yes, Fear.
They
You
get
know
one.
the ring.
little girl.
Little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like
That's a good one.
creepy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that is on there at all.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Sean, pick
62.
a number. 62?
Yeah.
That was Carmen Sandiego. So if you want to
Yeah,
pick
I
another
want her
number.
dead. Anyway, let's
You
go
just wanted
with
you to reiterate.
77.
97?
Yeah, I remember that. No, 77.
77, I'm sorry. That is Dark Link.
Who?
Okay.
Okay.
Dark
I- you know,
Dark
Shadow
Link.
Link,
Yeah.
from
that-
Zelda.
yeah.
I
okay,
understand.
okay.
My brain was like Dark Link.
Yeah, like
Like,
what does that mean?
Where, who?
It's your it's the CPU on Super Smash Bros. Melee level 9.
Trav, what would you like to hear? Pick a number.
I've been trying to decide on if I want to hear something that's like really high or really low. I think I'm gonna do 95. Just
95
to see what they
Is
consider a lesser villain.
Captain Onishima.
Okay, 94.
94 is Lance Vance from GTA Vice City, the worst villain.
Okay.
The actual, an
Okay.
awful dog shit villain.
Wow. All right.
I never played Vice City.
It's a neat game, but it's just kind of a DLC.
Hmm.
Like by admission, it was
That's fair.
It was kind of this expansion sort of game. So, one more thing I'll do is I'll upset each of you. Dark Samus is
Like
number 88 / SAX.
What? Hold on. Hold on.
I knew that would get you.
Oh, don't like that.
That's so
Don't
good.
like that.
That's
The
so
pain.
good. Which one will upset Sean?
All of them.
Ooh.
/ SAX. What are they? Just like, oh, they're both evil
They're
clones
both
of the main
evil
character.
versions of
Therefore,
Samus.
they're the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
yeah, sure.
that-
They did the evil character arc thing two games in a row, but like,
There are multiple Metal
media
Gear.
literacy is dead.
There are multiple Metal Gear enemies here.
Okay.
So like Big Boss and Revolver
Like Sniper.
Ocelot are just outside the top 25. I was
Okay.
going to use that to upset Sean. Sniper
Yeah,
Wolf
that's
is 92. Does that upset you?
Yeah, that. No.
Sniper
no,
Wolf, the YouTuber.
Sadly, no. Only
No.
one.
No.
Could you imagine?
I
Right?
feel
How old would she have been? And it's just Sniper Wolf at 13.
I don't have another one that
God.
will upset you, Sean. I think you already got upset. Did you
Where's
say?
Glover?
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Did you say
What?
Magus?
No, but I like Mad. Well, I mean, like you can make them like into a good person in Chrono Trigger, but like I'd understand if they're like somewhere on the list.
52.
Yeah, you know that. Why is that so higher than Lavos?
It's higher than Lavos. M, how will I upset you?
I don't think you can.
I think Diablo was kind of like his...
The only way I'm going to upset M is if we go through the top 25, I think, at this point.
Okay.
And I'll start with number 25, because it will upset you, M. So again, this is the... if you look in the show notes, we'll have a link to this via the Wayback Machine. It's a whole listicle-styled thing, so there are 100 different pages to go through. They released these weekly in the month of May. They released a bunch of these, 10 at a time through, I'm guessing, the end of summer.
Engagement slop.
Yeah, usual 2010 sort of stuff. You can find that, and you can look at that and let us know what some of the funniest ones that you think are. Again, in the comments, either on YouTube or the podcast feeds, or in our public Discord, crub.org/join. You can join and talk to us about anything. We talk about games and movies, hang out in there, have a lot of fun, a lot of good talks. So
I caught Sean talking about feet in there.
And we rarely insult the audience.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's only usually Justin that we insult, but also that probably insults the audience. So number 25 is, I'm going to read you the highlights because there's a highlights page here. Looks good in black. Like a fine wine, got better with age. If you want to take a guess.
I'm going to guess Shadow.
My thought was Liquid Ocelot, but we already went over that one.
Sean, do you have a guess?
I'm going to guess it's Shadow.
I'm going to guess Dracula from Castlevania.
The third highlight, blood relation to Luke Skywalker. It's Darth Vader at number 25.
Darth Vader?
On the top.
Looks great in black? Gets better with age? What even are those highlights?
Yeah.
Because they hate Anakin, but they like Darth Vader.
Which version would that would have been? Battlefront? Is it Battlefront
So they
version?
just Star Wars series. I will say there's a note here. Although he's technically your ally in Force Unleashed, this is the second paragraph. The opening sequences has Vader slaying Wookiees and Jedi left and right, and is the sole reason that you, as Starkiller, are out slaying rebels. It could also be said that his inclusion in Soul Calibur 4 was villainous on the part of Namco.
Oh my god.
Lightsaber not cutting through regular sword? Blasphemy.
Can I make a quick guess after that?
Yeah.
No.
Can I make I just want to... I don't know when this came out, but why do I have a feeling that the fucking Joker is going to be in the top 10? I swear.
Yeah, it's going to be like Arkham City Joker.
I swear. I don't care. But
Swear jar.
That I deserve it.
That's okay. You deserve the swear jar.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
I'm just guessing.
So that's a good prediction
to
have, potentially.
I just hate everything.
Number 24, they spell his name wrong in the header on the top of the article. So like the browser preview tab is spelled wrong. It's spelled right everywhere else. It is LeChuck from Monkey Island.
Okay.
How did they misspell it though?
Well, so it just they missed the C on the header preview, like when you mouse over the window.
Gotcha.
They spelled it right everywhere else, so I think just a simple typo. I was ready to make fun of it more, but honestly, LeChuck, pretty good choice, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of respect it.
No
I
complaints.
love Monkey Island
for 2010.
Can we just talk for half a second?
Sure.
About how they decided to go with the Force Unleashed version of Darth Vader.
They didn't. They just mentioned Force Unleashed. They said Star Wars series.
Yeah, okay, but that means that's the one, right? Like
that they
that's
thought of.
What they went with.
When was
He has been in countless Star Wars. This is Vader again. Vader has been in countless Star Wars games, but probably his most notable appearance was in Star Wars for the Famicom.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one where like he turns into an armadillo?
Yeah, Scorpion. They say that.
Yeah, you beat him and he turns into a scorpion.
He starts swinging his lightsaber at you, and after one hit turns into ... a scorpion. In later fights, he transforms into a shark, a pterodactyl, and a yeti.
I mean, it's just a reverse, like, clone Bowser from Mario, so, like, who cares?
They make that joke and then say, in all seriousness, he blew up planets. So
He did.
So
did Samus. She should be on this list.
True. Mario was 100 for abducting Donkey Kong.
Abducting?
So
For abducting, period. That's it.
No notes on LeChuck. I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
23 is Dracula from the Castlevania series.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have. That would have been up there for me.
That was
too.
one that I was gonna put on my list, and I'm like, no, Dracula. He's like an open domain character. I'm not gonna do that.
No.
It makes sense though, right? Like that's one of the ones where it's like, yeah, I could see why people would.
Like, well, I mean, people, of course, are only gonna think of this scene from Symphony of the Night, but I mean, like, you know,
Yeah, but still.
even with just that said, I think that he was a great villain.
And he's in he's the villain of the entire series of Castlevania.
Yeah,
more or less.
yeah.
And he was on Netflix.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. I like the scene when he gets punched in the face and he's like, "You must be the Belmont," and then like they start. Oh, swear jar.
I want to highlight as I find my pen and write down a swear jar. I didn't say this at the top of the video. Number 6 will surprise you. I'm not kidding when I say that.
Oh man.
Can that be in the thumbnail? It's like your head, and then
can't.
like on the left, it's just text. Number 6 will surprise you.
This is where it gets really good. Number 22, the Combine soldiers from Half-Life 2.
Okay, I mean, if they just say the Combine, sure. Like, I was thinking about like, okay, Dr. Breen, like, because he's like the human ambassador, but the soldiers, like the human volunteers that just are like, yeah, I'll do this for free. All right, yeah, I guess.
Worth noting
Also,
that
that
Dr.
sounds like
Breen is number 27 on the list also.
So why are they both
gonna
there?
do it. I'm actually gonna do it.
You should.
IGN, baby.
Man,
Yeah,
sounds like a
so that's a fun one.
Devin Townsend album.
Are you ready
I don't
for
know.
number 21?
I don't think
know.
I am, but I think you should just let it rip anyway.
So I'll give you one highlight, and you can guess. Censored out of Super Nintendo release.
Ooh, okay. That means it would also have to have come out on what, Genesis or something like that. So let's think. Games that had a cross release.
It's Hitler. It's Mecha Hitler.
The Wolfenstein.
I should have guessed that one.
I vibe with
It
that.
is-
Okay, wait. They're gonna put. Okay,
They're
I'll
gonna
listen.
put revived
Mecha Hitler
as a cyborg at 21,
21.
on this list.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, above Darth
I
Vader,
mean-
who has destroyed entire planets by their admission, but
Yeah,
below
he was sad.
20 other people.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, Hitler's one of our homegrown terrorists, so like, you know,
Homegrown.
on Earth.
So
okay,
I guess
cool.
the reasoning here is he was so unabashedly evil and his death so grotesque that the censors had to hop in for subsequent ports and future Wolfenstein games. His reign of terror
is
was
true.
short-lived, but the stamp he left on gaming history is indelible.
I mean, like, even before I knew
guess,
what
yeah.
like FPS was, I was hearing people joke about Mecha Hitler.
Yeah.
So like, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that.
Given how they wiped him out and in later entries, I guess that does make some sense. Yeah, more than I thought it would when I saw that the first time I read this
I mean,
list.
he's in one of the Machine games.
Yeah, he's a
those
he's a
wouldn't have
decrepit
been
old man, but
out yet.
yeah, that wasn't out yet.
This is 2010-ish,
And
so
in the Machine Games version of Hitler, it's really funny because he's an old man that's like he's like just like like on life support, and anytime someone disagrees with him, he shoots them. But you can walk up to him and just kick him in the face, and you get a game over. But it's fun.
incredible. Because would he have been in the 2008-ish one? Was it?
I don't think so.
Was it 08? Yeah.
That one was weird. I think
that
it's
was-
07.
Oh, 07.
That was yeah. That was the one with like the time trap, right?
I get that. Yeah, that was the one that had like the magic relics and
Okay.
all that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know much about that one, so I
they
can't say.
they
he
specifically
played
only
it.
said Wolfenstein 3D as well for his appears in this one. So
Yeah, I want to say that's the only time he's appeared in those games prior to New Colossus.
number 20 is the Joker.
There it is.
Good guess.
Good guess.
Let me guess. Does
They
the
put
picture
the
of him have
Joker-
him like
they
juiced up
put
with the
the-
Titan?
No,
They
it's
put the Joker
him smiling,
above.
like Arkham Origins
okay.
smiling. I think
They put
Okay.
they put the Joker above Mecha Hitler.
they
They
did.
put Joker above Hitler. This is whatever. Did Jared Leto's Joker came out? I don't.
No, that was way after.
Because I could understand if it was Jared Leto's Joker, because that deserves to be on a list somewhere else.
So
But
only
this-
Arkham Asylum was out by this point, and they do mention that he used the Titan
Wait,
formula
what?
to get jacked.
Only Arkham Asylum? Not
City
even
was 2011.
Oh my. Okay, that's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, so they put him in here
Mecha
because
Hitler.
of Arkham Asylum alone.
Like literally recency bias.
yeah, yeah. So
But that's crazy.
any thoughts, Em?
No.
How do you feel about Joker above Hitler?
How about above Joker and Hitler, M. Bison?
Well, okay. You just kind of
okay. I mean,
terrible.
So like, yay for me. I guess I get the point.
You got one right, M.
You got a point.
Is that what the M stands for in your name?
Boy, man, right above Hitler.
It sets the 25. That's why I went for the top 25 here, because as we went through this list, myself, Brody, and Chris, a couple weeks back, we saw that, and then everything above Mecha Hitler is just tainted by default, because you can't put 20. You can't do it.
It was 2010, man. It was a different time. We didn't know better. We didn't know what he did.
I would have understood if it was like, if you put Vader in front of Hitler. Okay, I get that. I understand that because you're destroying entire planets. But you're gonna just put M. Bison up there?
Well, like M. Bison and Shadowloo are very.
If Shadow the Hedgehog is above
if you're talking iconic, that's one thing. I want to highlight, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Number 56, Zombies. I want to go back to that one real quick.
Zombies.
Just Zombies.
Let me guess. World at War?
Just all
zombies.
Just all.
They're gonna have. Okay, I'll wait.
No. Go ahead.
They're gonna have clickers on this list, aren't they?
I have a clicker.
The Last of Us.
Last of Us would not have been out by that point.
I thought it came out in 2010.
2013.
No, but they may have lickers on there, which would be the Resident Evil enemy.
Okay, well then I'm incorrect.
I think Wesker is on here somewhere, but I don't know that he is. Is he on here?
He's kind of awful person, so he should be.
Wesker is... Yeah, he's on here. He's actually coming up soon.
Good.
Spoilers.
Okay, cool.
Number 18
spoiled.
Appears in Dissidia Final Fantasy. Does that help you, Sean?
Is it Kefka?
It is Kefka.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kefka makes sense. Yeah. Kefka makes a lot of sense.
Deserves.
Very iconic.
I would have crashed out so hard if they would have put the Joker above him.
It was close. It got close.
What is this list actually? Is it best villains? Is it most iconic villains?
The top 100 video game villains. There's a bunch of cracks in the text of video game villains, and it's Bowser on one side, really contrasted from Smash Bros, and Eggman on the other.
Just best.
Yeah, it's just best.
Yeah, just top 100. Doesn't say best, it just says top 100.
Just top 100. Yeah. Okay.
All right, who wrote this article?
I think it does not say. I tried to find it. I didn't see a name. I think it's just.
I imagine it was like a collaborative. It was probably like a collaborative effort. It's like, okay, give us like your favorite villains.
Plus, IGN back at that time used to hide the names of people.
Yeah,
they didn't want them.
This probably would have been right after the.
Wow, IGN actually
Greg
did something smart
and whatnot left. I think too. So probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 17, because there's not much to say about Kefka. Kefka makes sense. Kefka literally wins at one point in the story. It's one of the coolest moments that games had up to that point.
That was FF6, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Okay, that's one that's on my list.
Weird.
I really want to. I want to play more of those games that I kind of missed out on.
Highly recommend.
17 is.
I don't care.
Kerrigan from StarCraft.
Sorry.
Kerrigan? I guess, yeah, okay. Kerrigan is...
Isn't that the lady that Dwight Schrute dressed up as in that one episode?
Yeah, so she is a member of your team on the Terrans, and then she goes on to become the Zergling Queen, and she's like the main enemy of StarCraft, basically. And she's basically the enemy of StarCraft 2 as well, as much as that game has a story. So like, yeah, okay, I get it. Right? Like, I don't hate Kerrigan as an enemy, I suppose. And so, StarCraft was like the biggest game in the world for a period of time there.
So I want to note the end of this article, because this dates this pretty well. Though in the many years since StarCraft Brood War she has kept her forces at her heel, the Zerg will likely explode with a frenzy back into the many worlds of StarCraft 2. With Kerrigan at the helm of the most powerful enemy force the universe has ever seen. So this is before StarCraft 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, StarCraft, right, is like the reason that we have esports.
Yeah.
And,
really?
And it's the reason that, like, Korea has a gaming scene. So, like, yeah, I think Kerrigan makes a certain amount of sense.
I think he just read deeper.
I don't know about putting it in there with Hitler and Darth Vader and stuff, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, because Kevin was totally right that like every character from now on has to deal with like they are more evil than Hitler.
There was something you said when you were predicting your list, M. you mentioned this character, but you didn't mention them as like one of your lists. You mentioned them in passing while describing another character. Number 16, above all of the ones we've said so far, Space Invaders aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Like, when it comes to iconography, what is more iconic with regards to gaming than the Space Invader alien thing, right? Like, it's basically shorthand for all of gaming. You can take that little alien and put it anywhere, and it's just, there you go, it's gaming.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It was iconic.
It's funny.
Right? Like,
it's just funny
I
that
get
they're
it.
there. Like, it makes sense, but when you put the context of, like, if you're looking at this as best, that's a weird...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
Pac-Man
not
Ghost is
even,
gonna
like,
be up there.
interesting enemies. They're not
They're just
whatever. They're not... I don't know.
alien.
They did exist.
this whole list, by the way, this whole article for this entry is just every... So there's multiple line breaks, and every other line break is a Futurama quote. So
why is that?
tremble in
Makes so much
fear
sense.
at our 3 different kinds of ships. Increase speed, drop down, and reverse direction. Instead of shooting where I was, you should have shot where I was going to be. They put them on here
Cool.
because of Futurama, I think.
All right.
Cool.
I don't respect it.
One of the highlights.
I mean, that's
is,
a great Futurama ammo.
It's a good episode.
To be fair. Yeah.
One of the highlights here on the sidebar: Space Invaders is being negotiated for a major motion picture as of 2010.
God, that would have been Pixels. That would have been
Pixels
Adam
probably
Sandler's
would have
Pixels.
been Pixels years ahead of time.
Oh my God!
I can't wait for The Rock to
Pixels,
be in
the
it.
film that people. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's the only thing it
Qbert.
could have been.
Qbert and Craig.
Qbert.
Yo. Yeah.
Number 15. This one would have made Sean mad, actually. The smelliest villain on our list, parentheses, maybe. Does that help you, Sean?
No.
He is quite, this is a quote, he is quite literally a piece of shit.
Oh, the Great Mighty Pooh.
It is the
Why is the Great Mighty Pooh there?
Mighty Pooh. Because
Worse
IGN...
than Hitler.
Because IGN...
You're gonna just because he fucking sings? Oh, I'm the Great Mighty. What? What?
Sorry, Chris, for all of the editing you're
What do
in.
you mean?
Oh, was that another swear jar?
I don't even have. I can't
Oh,
even
that
hear
was
you anymore.
3 of them in a row.
All right.
What do you mean? I understand. Great. Awesome. Sings very well. But you're going to put him, a literal walking mount of excrement, above things that commit genocide? What the piss is wrong with you, IGN? But go back in time. Fix this. Do better.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, right? Like,
That was the most pre-YouTube IGN hyperfixation game. They found a way to mention it in every article they could at that
I
point
don't
in time.
understand.
Oh,
are they ever going to bring Conker back, do you think? It feels like it's ripe.
he was
for
in
renewal.
that weird creation game they made. Remember that?
Yeah, the glasses
Xbox
one.
owns them now, right? So
It was in that game. It was an Xbox game. It was an Xbox creation suite. Project Spark, someone in our Twitch chat says. Speaking of our Twitch chat, we do stream these podcasts, the recording of them with exclusive pre and post shows live on Twitch, twitch.tv/crub_official. You can find that in the description or the show notes. So come hang out on Tuesdays with us while we do this around 7 p.m. Eastern, and you get to help contribute to the episode and see it up to a month ahead of time.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Project Spark, Conker appeared in, and people were very upset at the time. This was like 2015-ish. They showed Conker off, and he was just there in Project Spark, the game where you would then make the game.
Wasn't that the one where like he looked like one of the scrolls from the PlayStation ads, the PSP ads?
Yes.
Remember you did like
they
that
redesigned
redesign
him.
for yeah.
It was like very like cartoony compared to his
It was like
edgier.
yeah, they
design.
removed his sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
Like they made him like a friendly squirrel cartoon thing instead of
it was like
Conker.
Animaniac.
This was
Animaniacs meets PSP.
Man,
yeah.
that was such a weird period of time for Microsoft too, because like
Still
they
is.
were clearly trying to become Nintendo.
They
you
wanted to
know?
be the everything console, so they needed families.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so
That's why they
nothing
called
could
it
be
the
bad.
Xbox.
What
Well,
does
it's
that
because
mean?
of Direct
Sorry.
Xbox, right? DirectX.
Because X, the everything app, was.
Oh, that's not a joke that I got at all because I don't think of it that way at all.
I
That's
expected
Twitter.
better.
Speaking of
I
some,
also
better from you.
expected better.
speaking of somebody who would almost certainly be tweeting in his universe, number 14 is Albert Wesker from Resident Evil.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no notes.
Nothing on that one. Pretty easy one.
Good.
Number 13 is Dr. Wily.
What? I took that character out of my list because I'm like, there's no way. People don't care about Dr. Willy.
Yeah.
They would. Dr.
But
Willy.
how is that more iconic or bad or top or whatever than Team Rocket?
It's an interesting one because Mega Man's another one of those games where sales-wise, they always do fine. You know, like I think 11 is the best-selling game in the series, and that's not saying a ton. It's just saying that there are more gamers now, but like that series has so many games, and he's so involved in all of them in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of, I get it. I get it. It's IGN. It's a Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's more like, I don't have a yeah, of course Nintendo's going to be all over this, right? Like that was part of the reason that I put in 3 Nintendo in my top.
Oh no, he's reading again.
Oh, no.
One of the highlights was that he acts as the antagonist in all 10 core Mega Man games. So he had just...
Okay, so 11 hadn't.
So 11 was recent. 10 was around 2010, though. So that makes sense that this was reappearing recent.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
The question is just, it's not that Dr. Wily is on the top 100. It's his placement on the top 100 that feels weird, right? Like... For all that Mega Man exists, is it really the top, like...
Villain.
I feel like it makes sense that he would be in the 70s or 80s.
It's like an interesting thing.
In 15.
Like, I think of Sigma more than Dr. Wily.
I should look at see if Sigma is in fact there. I didn't look at that.
I hope so. I like Sigma.
Sigma is not there.
Sugma.
I hate everything.
It's
right, because like... I understand Dr. Robotnik being up there. I'm sure he's in the top 5. I understand, having that kind of an enemy where it's clearly, Bowser and Dr. Robotnik and the ghost from Pac-Man. But, like, I can't understand having Dr. Wily as number 4. Just for all of our listeners... Kevin read something and then immediately put his face in his hands and started shaking back and forth.
I forgot. So I think Wily it makes sense because Mega Man is much more like a critical darling than it ever was like a wide public darling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And this is IGN. IGN's not critical. Like that's my thing is that this isn't a thing written by people who love video games. It's written by people who work for IGN, which are rarely the same thing.
This is 2010 IGN, though, which is like the proto-YouTubers. So they, credit to them, those people did love video games. They were just also, they had their
I guess
own
I'm just biased.
They had their own biases. Yeah.
Yeah, which I get.
I'm biased by my thinking of IGN today where, like, they clearly don't like video games anymore.
So, speaking of not liking video games... Number 12.
Wait, we missed 13, I think.
13 was Wily.
Okay.
14 was Wesker. 13 was Wily. 12.
Okay.
Mike Tyson.
From Punch-Out.
Mike Tyson is worse
Just
than
the actual human being, Mike Tyson.
From Punch-Out.
Here you go. This is this actual human being. He is worse than Hitler. This actual human being, Mike Tyson, is worse than Hitler.
Tyson,
dude, if we're
worse
power
than
scaling,
Hitler.
does that mean Jake Paul is worth... Never mind.
Oh, shit. Oh, I want to see this list now because Jake Paul would be up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about Mike Tyson. Sean walked away for a moment.
How do they describe him I need to know how they describe, because if they're not like, really careful about
Mike
it.
Tyson
just...
might not be a quote-unquote villain in the traditional video game context, but he's certainly one of the most well-remembered boss fights from the Nintendo Entertainment System era.
Just a boss.
The Brooklyn-born boxer made his digital debut in the late 80s. That's pretty much... Like, there's more, but Tyson's appearance in Punch-Out stands for more than just a final boss battle. Tyson represents a long line of difficult boss encounters that require raw twitch gameplay and pattern memorization in order to beat. Some players celebrate this style of gameplay while others will detest it, but no one can argue that the fight against Tyson is a cakewalk.
So they don't call him a villain there.
It's
they
just
call
a
him
boss
a
fight.
boss, which is, I think, a very different way to look at this list.
Yeah.
In
That
and
makes
of
it even
itself.
weirder.
right? Like that's a very different way to look. Oh, what's the best boss fights? Totally different way to look at that list.
Yeah. But it's both.
I also love the idea of Mike Tyson being like the puppet master villain of Punch Out. Something about that is really funny.
Yeah, I do like that. I vibe with that.
Number 11.
Get him, minions.
Number 11 is Dr. Robotnik.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like immediately it makes sense.
It's interesting that he's further down than I would have thought, but it makes sense.
It's worse than Hitler.
The middle of like Sega bad era of posting.
Yeah.
More so than any other time in Sega's history, essentially. Like this is the very Nintendo core gaming press with the ability to punch at any time, and it's like the Sonic bad era. So
well, even PC gaming was bad at this period. Right?
Yeah.
Like there is no there's no gaming outside of like Sony, Xbox, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And Nintendo is clearly king in every way.
Number 10, Andrew Ryan from BioShock.
You know, I thought about it because I think he's a really interesting one. I think he's a really cool one, but I was like, "There's no way that they would choose this." But of course they would, because it's a pretentious choice.
This was the gaming press video game to talk about when you talked about villains. So,
like, he was in my top 10,
Makes sense.
right? And I was like, "There's no way they're gonna mention Andrew Ryan."
I didn't expect it.
It's not much to note in that one, I don't think. So I'll just keep jumping on to number 9, Mother Brain.
Hey,
you got another one.
All right, I'm the only one with a top 10 so far.
That's so. I mean, like, I get it. Hype moments and aura. That's all we're building off this. Is just like, yeah, cool.
Mother Brain aura farming.
Mother Brain. That's the entire like climax of Super Metroid is Mother Brain aura farming. And like, I get it. It was a really memorable moment when, you know, I guess she murders your adopted child. So that's pretty evil. But like, you know, Mother Brain doesn't even like do anything in the games. They're just a supercomputer that.
So
whatever.
Okay, but I was right.
You were right. All right, I'll give you that.
I need to give you, this is both in the highlights and this sentence I'm going to read. The impact this creation has was big enough for the writers of Captain N and the Game Masters to make it/him/her the core bad guy and ringleader of the ragtag bunch of evil misfits.
They brought up the cartoon.
I'm sure they did.
It is at least believed through the course of actions in Metroid Prime that Mother Brain is the general and leader of the Space Pirates.
Nope.
I don't know where that. Don't know where that came from.
Metroid Prime, even the original release of that before they retconned everything, does not say that.
They're just this is just conspiracy theory. We have a boss fight randomly thrown in there. Oh, it's a good boss fight. Anyway, here's a random conspiracy theory that I believe because they're the real villain. Anyway, you should check out my channel Game Theory too.
In battle,
it's just a theory.
In fact, the battle from Super Metroid is expanded upon in an absolutely epic rendered cutscene at the start of Metroid Other M.
There it is.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
One of the highlights that I mentioned was Captain N version voiced by Levi Stubbs, member of the Four Tops. I don't know what that matters. I don't know. This person, whoever wrote this entry, is a fan of Captain N, the Game Master.
I've never seen Four Tops in a room together.
What if it's like the actual voice actor or actress for them? Like what if it's just their, you know?
I mean, like it is a voice actor thing. Oh, yeah, if it's written by the voice actor, you mean?
Yeah,
just a casual plug.
Like they just got their way into IGN. And we're like, you know, I'm gonna put this up here.
This is my peak. I peaked in Mother Brain.
Anyway, I Googled it, and now I know what Captain N.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah,
you haven't watched that?
That's surprising to me.
I'm surprised you didn't know. Yeah,
it's
Captain N is like the weirdest deep pull. Unless you are specifically a Nintendo child from the 80s, which is exactly who this staff was.
The whole reason I learned about what I was going to say Mighty N, Captain N was because I was just Googling in like 2007. I was just Googling Mega Man, and it came up with an episode from Captain N, and I'm like, why does he look like that? And why does he go Mega?
Yeah, like you sound like a Pokemon.
You guys want to watch that?
Yeah, sure.
Why
Captain
not?
N
Like
Castamon on Patreon?
Captain
N. I'm
Patreon?
not even joking. Do you want to do that?
Yes, I would love to.
We might have to do that.
Write that down.
Write that down. And also chime in the comments if you want to see that. That would probably be a Patreon series of some sort, I would think. So check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Crub. There are multiple cool tiers that you can use to support us. There's a video tier, an audio tier, hundreds of hours of content for you to consume, featuring us and the other 4 co-crubbers, and a bunch of fun.
And guests.
Speaking of fun, number 8 was Psycho Mantis.
Yeah, okay, I'm down with it. I vibe with it.
Had a feeling.
Yeah,
because that's
fine.
You got to mention it.
He made my controller vibrate.
A lot of characters have done that.
Bless you.
Go on.
I think.
No.
Number 7, Pac-Man Ghosts.
Yeah, I knew it had to be up there, right? Like,
Pac-Man.
again, I tried to...
Clyde.
If I was going to go with just the generic things, I would have gone with that, but it felt bad. Right? Like, because you could say, yeah, it's the Pac-Man Ghosts, obviously. You could say it's Bowser and Robotnik, and you could throw these, like, obvious choices, but I tried to at least be interesting with Gladys.
Their most recent appearance, this is not in this list, is in Death Stranding 2.
I don't know if you're even,
I'm
I can't.
100% serious. There's a random point where the pizza guy gives you a pizza, and then it looks like Pac-Man shape at the end after you eat a slice, and then you make a thumbs up, and Pac-Man shows up, and you play Pac-Man on the map.
I vibe with that. Can I
I
ask
need
something?
a PS5, man.
Better than drugs, Trav. Better than drugs.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. I might be wrong. I kind of hope I'm wrong. If Donkey Kong is anywhere up here, above Mecha Hitler.
Oh.
Ghosts above Mecha.
We are at number 7. Number 6 will surprise you, Sean.
Oh, God. All right, let's do it.
If these ghosts weren't so adorable with their googly eyes, they would be just as frightening as any brain-munching zombie in Resident Evil. I just wanted to say that line from this article.
Okay.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
But watch out for Clyde. He may seem dim and slow, but it's all an act. He's the most dangerous in the bunch because though he seems to bumble around the maze without logic, he always manages to be right in the way when you make a drive for the last dot.
It's almost like he was intentionally designed that way. That's crazy.
Game design?
Number 6. Do you want to take a pick on what's going to surprise you?
Is it Donkey
There's
Kong?
a couple of ways it could go. It could be like just the most brain dead take. It could be Donkey Kong, right? Like it could be some, but I'm gonna try not to guess because I don't want to.
Okay, you don't want to
be so wrong.
Number 6. I swear to God, Nazis.
Why would you say anything when I said Donkey Kong then?
I like the Trav's camera froze too, so we just hear like cackling in the like very quiet cackling in the background.
Oh, is Trav frozen? Yeah. I thought Trav just was staring blankly at the screen,
like,
still just like
unmoving. 5 is Donkey Kong.
Oh goodness,
Chris, keep that in.
Wait, what did you just say?
5 is Donkey Kong.
Oh my God!
Donkey Kong worse than Nazis. Take that, Seth Rogen.
Wow! My God!
So 6. Yeah,
that's great.
You can't
Donkey
swing
Kong officially worse than Nazis.
You can't swing a dead cat in a video game without hitting at least a couple Nazis. In fact, we actually
swinging dead cats.
In fact, we actually played a game where you did swing dead cats at Nazis.
Postal, yeah.
Yeah, I guess Postal, yeah.
From their early appearances in games like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Castle Wolfenstein to their more modern incarnation in games like Company of Heroes and Call of Duty, the number of Nazis in video games probably exceeds the number of people that have ever lived on this planet.
Boy, here's the... Wow. As soon as you said zombies, we should have gone Nazis. We should have seen it coming. They didn't hide it. It was there all along.
Yep. That's why I threw that one out there, to try and give you a hint. Once you accept the broad strokes, with which they're painted in video games, Nazis make great villains. First, there's not a lot of room for ideological ambiguity with Nazis. 2010 IGN was sadly so innocent on that one. 'Cause, I'm sure anyone writing for IGN now knows that you can't. People are weird, man. People suck. So it's easy for players to settle into a clear black and white view of morality. They're bad, and players get that. The rest of it doesn't really matter. Other than that, that's just kind of highlights: hate Indiana Jones. Even more evil in real life. Also,
are they saying?
Okay.
No, I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Good enough. And then number 5 is Donkey Kong.
Number 5 is Donkey Kong. Yes.
They
Actually,
put Donkey Kong above Nazis.
Yep.
They say Donkey Kong is a better villain than Nazis. They say Donkey Kong
I'm so
is
sad
better.
that Trav's camera died at the exact worst time.
Is it still frozen?
It's still frozen on mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! Hold on. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so...
I have that man tattooed on me. And they're saying he's worse than zombies.
Time to do.
You have something worse than Nazis on your arm.
Is Kirby gonna be up there? I swear to God, Kirby's up there. I swear.
Was Kirby... Let me look what Kirby was on the list.
Could you imagine if Kirby was
no
on the
Kirby.
list?
I don't think any Kirby characters on the list, actually.
I mean, Kirby didn't really get a revival in attention.
Yeah.
YouTube era.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's not much to read about the Donkey Kong
Good
version. It just kind of debuted in arcades. Donkey Kong was the victim who needed rescuing in Donkey Kong Jr., etc. I'm going to jump ahead to number 4.
Okay.
Number 4 is Sephiroth.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm down with that.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
Very, very good choice, honestly, in general.
Hello? Okay, I'm back.
Hello. Welcome back. You missed Donkey Kong at number 5 and Sephiroth at number 4.
Okay.
So, both make sense.
Sephiroth, totally makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of...
Number 3, Ganondorf.
Well, okay, I want to be clear. Yes. Right, Sephiroth makes sense when we take it outside of the context of this list of also having Nazis. Yeah. Also, I'm really annoyed that Ganondorf is there because Ganondorf was literally my number 6.
So Sephiroth is also an interesting one because if you want a power scale like we did Mike Tyson being worse than Hitler, Sephiroth wanted to destroy the entire planet and by extension now every planet in the multiverse. So he is kind of like Thanosing all life. So it kind of makes sense.
A little bit.
Yeah, Ganondorf is number 3. Ganon has
super
never
annoyed.
appeared
That was my number 6
as the main antagonist in a handheld game, which is no longer true.
No longer true.
No, what to say about this one. He kind of is just evil. He's literally the embodiment of hate. They didn't know that yet, but that's what he is. Bowser is number 2.
Hey, there you go. So I think I have the highest unless somebody got number 1.
GLaDOS is going to be number 1.
Could you imagine? That'd be...
That's going to be number 1.
Man. Oh, I don't like the way that Kevin is currently looking at the screen.
Kevin.
This is what we in the business call foreshadowing.
Number 1, although her time with us may have been brief, GLaDOS has left a mark on players like no other villain has. What began as a simple and helpful AI guide through a series of tests slowly twisted into something malicious, terrifying, and hilarious, no Oxford comma. GLaDOS was unique amongst villains in that the player had no one else to interact with for the entirety of the game. And although she says a couple curious things, you have no reason to doubt her intentions until you round that corner. A master.
The best part?
All right.
This was written before Portal 2 came out.
Yep.
So here's the thing. GLaDOS was I'm throwing this in because I care about GLaDOS. I think that would have been great. I'm glad I got the actual number 1.
Yeah.
But boy, I don't know about having GLaDOS as number 1. GLaDOS is, again, if we're looking at it from what they revealed earlier, where it's the boss, right? Yeah, I think GLaDOS is maybe one of the coolest video game bosses.
Yeah,
it's
for
an
sure.
interesting fight.
But
right?
worse than
like doing the portals for
her
the
personality.
Yeah, right. It's interesting, and with the added, Portal 2 stuff, GLaDOS is such a cool boss too. But I don't know, man.
I don't think number 1 above, killer of Nazis, Mike Tyson.
A master of manipulation, GLaDOS has you befriend a mostly inanimate object only to have you incinerated at the end of the test. She's also not shy about disclosing personal information about you and throws in some straight-up name-calling.
Look, the companion cube is literally a throwaway line. The fact that everybody got all connected to the companion cube is just meme culture.
I feel the same way. I don't get it.
It's just a throwaway line. It's literally just a throwaway line in a single one out of 30 levels. It's just nothing.
And it's just, her trying to get under your skin is like, oh, that thing was alive.
Right.
Don't you feel bad?
Despite her being almost entirely artificial, GLaDOS somehow manages to be more human than most villains in video games.
Well, there's a reason for that, but
GLaDOS isn't overly logical or calculating or emotionless. She's spontaneous, passionate, vengeful, Oxford comma, and completely unforgettable.
Yeah,
all right.
Sure.
This was a choice.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised they didn't do any of the cake is a lie things quotes.
They mentioned cake somewhere. It knows an excellent cake recipe.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
So
you have to.
I this list in 2015 would have been like Undertale at number 1.
Yeah.
No, actually, maybe I could see Clickers being up there. Or they'd be like, oh, Joel's the number 1 villain. We're going to put him above Mega Hitler. Which
Mega Hitler.
Mega Hitler.
Yeah, because they say it wrong. They say it wrong.
That's a weird Pokemon evolution.
All right.
Well, yeah. I didn't like the typing.
So I did say number 6 would surprise you. I think all sufficiently surprised. I think I pulled off that clickbait.
You did excellent.
The noise that left my mouth the first time that I saw that come up and then saw Donkey Kong afterwards.
Oh.
Immediately afterwards, because you have space between Mecha Hitler and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have
what a sentence.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
It's
right, and Robotnik makes sense, and Bowser makes sense, and having Mother Brain makes sense if you're thinking IGN, right? Like those make sense. I think was M. Bison on there?
Yeah, above Joker and Hitler.
Yeah, okay, so all of mine were on the list.
Yeah, you guessed IGN to a T there.
Yeah.
did that.
And if I'd included Ganondorf, the one that I had on my top 10 that I was like, well, maybe not, was Voss from Far Cry 3.
I could have seen that.
Like IGN bait, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that came out at that time. I don't remember what year Far Cry 3
I think it came out after.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, the 2011 list would definitely have had Voss up there, right?
2012, Far Cry 3.
2012. That would have definitely been up there because he's such IGN bait. But then I was like, well, 2010, I can't remember when that game came out. I wasn't going to do research. I wasn't going to Google something.
Who Googles?
No.
I'm looking through the rest of the list really quickly, and I forgot to mention that Shang Tsung is 97 below Sub-Zero.
But Shang Tsung's actually
He's the villain. I also don't see Shao Kahn at all. So that's
I get that. Shang Tsung's more of the active villain, where Shao Kahn is kind of it's like the difference between Silver's. It's like Silver Surfer versus Galactus, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Is Ansem or Xehanort in there at all?
No.
Anywhere?
No
Kingdom Hearts. Okay,
this is before Kingdom Hearts was cool.
I will piss.
So it could still be now then.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. There's not much more for the rest of the list. That's very some of it's funny to put the comparisons together.
Yeah, but
King Hippo is on here because they had to put multiple characters from Punch Out.
King,
not even
where is he?
They couldn't even lean into the anti-Russian sentiment. Go with Soda Popinski.
Where do they put King Hippo?
Right above Dr. Nefarious and below Carmen Sandiego and the Predator.
So 51, 50?
64.
So they have...
that she was 62, that's right.
They have King Hippo.
King Hippo.
As a better villain than... Oh my god.
Wow.
I'll do you one better. Carmen Sandiego is more devastating than King Hippo.
Do you think
And SAX / Dark
Let's see,
Samus.
how
And
much
this-
time do we have?
I have a
All
question.
right, man.
What's your question, Sean?
Do they have a list for like villains in general?
I think they do.
Like,
I think that's a more recent list. We could do that on another episode. There are a lot of these lists, and they're very fun.
Want to see what they put. I want to see what they put above Mecha Hitler. If even Hitler makes the list at that point, because I guess I don't know.
Was there anything?
Yes.
Was Shadow on there at all?
No,
Yeah.
Shadow Link is there. No Shadow.
Okay.
So
Master
'Cause I
Hand.
thought Darth Vader was Shadow.
that's
and now-
fair. That would be a good guess.
Yeah.
But he was an anti-hero, so they didn't count that apparently.
I see.
It is. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I don't even think we have a good outro for this.
You can't put any critical thought behind it because there was no critical thought in the first place, right? Like it's
We're just
clearly
pointing and
vibes.
laughing at some publication or public whatever that's still out there
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah,
Yes,
IGN
someone-
is barely like. I hate. I don't want to say. I don't hate them as an organization, right? Like they exist and they do things occasionally, but boy, they're TMZ. You know, they're reporters, not journalists, and I don't know.
Yeah.
IGN, man.
It's,
I did a video on IGN on their things, right? Where I did a look at all of the games that they rated less than a 6, and this was after what was it came out? Saints Row. Saints Row came out and it was a 7.
The
It was a
remake
7 out
thing?
of 10 or a 6
Yeah.
out of 10, right? And they called it like one of the worst games that's ever existed. 6 out of 10. I was like, what could possibly be worse then? What could possibly
lot.
be worse?
They do
if
a lot.
You've got this game getting a 6 or a 7 out of 10, and you're calling it one of the worst games that's out.
Right.
I have a proper date for this now. This is definitely May 2010, because they have the Harbinger from Mass Effect 2 at 39.
Okay.
10 spaces above that is Saren from Mass Effect 1. So
Okay.
I saw Saren and I was like, wait, really? Mass Effect 1? Like, really?
Saren's not even. I guess Saren is cooler than. I don't know. Harbinger is like an interesting enemy, right?
I would have just put like
Saren
Elusive
is-
Man kind of there.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
Not that he's a villain.
If
but
you're
like,
gonna go
kinda-
with Mass Effect,
Yeah.
then Saren is like the boring choice. Harbinger's at least interesting, boy. And looking back, Harbinger really does kind of highlight how badly they fumbled the Reapers.
Yeah, that.
Because Harbinger was like a scary enemy, right? Like, oh man, the Harbingers are these big, evil, bad things, and then they're just not.
Yeah.
God.
It's especially like having Saren there in general is an interesting one because Mass Effect 1 was only an Xbox game up to that point. So they were putting it out despite the slightly lesser coverage and sales of the first game, because it was obviously a very covered game, but you could only play it on PC and Xbox, so like a whole third of the market didn't get the game until 2012 with 3.
Yeah.
So
That's really weird.
yeah, interesting.
Weird list. IGN,
Yeah.
you did it again.
You did.
Yeah, I
it.
can't wait to do this again and hurt more.
I just seeing Nazis and then Donkey Kong is so goddamn
That has been
funny.
That's
That
the
had-
biggest
I-
whiplash. That's the biggest one.
Goddamn funny.
Just Mike Tyson was pretty good, but then like
No, nothing. I'm
Back to
sorry.
back.
Nothing is Nazis.
Donkey Kong.
Then-
Donkey Kong.
it being back to back is the thing for me.
Oh god. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this edition of the podcast for the week?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, I think we just kind of sapped our. We usually leave him laughing. I don't know what else to do with this one. This is kind of, we don't have an outro, and Donkey
I'm in
Kong is
pain.
worse than Nazis. Happy
I have
Donkey
him-
Kong Bonanza
Some of us
out
do.
now.
Happy Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I have him
Okay.
on me.
Sean is showing the
Goodbye.
Donkey Kong tattoo. That's the old design though, Sean. You
I
gotta
don't
get
think you want to show
you
that.
gotta get that redone.
Yeah, you got to get
To
that
what?
covered up.
The
You're
new-
gonna have to
the
go
new
find a
DK.
special. You're gonna have to go find a
That's
special.
the real reason he was
tattoo.
redesigned.
It was redesigned because
Me?
the old Donkey Kong was worse than Hitler. the new Donkey Kong,
and Nazis.
friendly little guy.
The new Donkey Kong. Yeah. He clean sweep. Oh my God. I hate everything.
We will see you folks next week on the CRUBCAST for another edition where, once again, we will find a way to make it worse, though this next week will be a challenge, because I don't know.
I can't wait for it to get worse.
I don't know how you get worse than that one. We gotta step up.
I'll find a way. I'll make it happen.
I know you'll find a way.
We will. Keep on crubbing. Are we gonna make an outro?